on transfer. Class today will continue your discussion on transfer. Class today will continue your discussion on transfer taxes. So just a quick review. Under transfer taxes, we have two types of tax. We have estate tax and we have donor's tax. So last meeting class, we discussed donor's tax. Today naman, let's focus on estate tax. Estate tax. Okay, so estate tax. For me, this is the most challenging topic in taxation. Okay? Ito rin class yung magiging pinaka-comprehensive na discussion ko sa lahat ng topics natin in tax. Okay? Now, ang good thing naman dun class, if maintindihan mo yung discussion natin, if master mo yung estate tax, ibig sabihin, kayang-kaya mo lahat ng topics in taxation. Okay? Sounds good? Okay, now, in order to understand estate tax, let's have an illustration. For example, class, Mr. X died. Namatay si Mr. X. May mga naiwan siya na properties, rights, and obligations. Properties, for example, si Mr. X, may naiwan siya na house and lot. May naiwan din siya na car. And let's say, class, Mr. X, meron din siya mga condo units. Ayan. Rights naman, for example, may mga receivables si Mr. X. And obligations, let's say, class, si Mr. X, may utang siya sa bangko. May mga loans, okay? Ayan, obligations. Mr. X, we call him the decedent. And then yung mga naiwan niya ng properties, rights, and obligations, ang tawag natin dyan, class, is the estate. Or ang ibang tawag din dyan is inheritance. Or basically, yan yung mana. Okay? Now, ang magmamana ng estate ni Mr. X is A, B, and C. Ang tawag natin sa kanila, they are the heirs or the successors. So let's say yun yung mga anak ni Mr. X, A, B, and C. Ayan. So meron tayong decedent, we have the estate, and we have the heirs. Sir, di ba yung estate, naaralan natin yan sa income tax? Yes. Pero yung naaralan natin sa income tax, yun yung income of the estate. Sir, what do you mean by that? For example, class, yung condo units ni Mr. X, nag-earn ng rental income. Okay? Yung magiging taxpayer para dun sa rental income is the estate. Kung maalala nyo, itatax natin siya na parang individuals, okay? Or individual yung estate. Gagamit tayo ng tax table. Naalala nyo yan? Yun yung inaaral natin nun. Now, ang inaaral natin ngayong class is i-transfer tax. Estate tax. Ibig sabihin, ang binabayaran natin na tax is the transfer of property from the decedent Mr. X to the heirs A, B, and C. Okay? Yung transfer of property na yan is subject to estate tax. Got it? So kaya class yung estate tax, just like donor's tax, is an example of an excise tax. So ang binabayaran mo dyan is the tax on privilege. Yung privilege mo dito is to transfer the ownership of property from one person to another. Gets? Okay. Now class, yung pag-transfer ng ownership from the decedent to the heirs or from Mr. X to the heirs, mangyayari siya, okay, it will take effect upon the death of Mr. X. Pag namatay si Mr. X, yun yung major difference niya sa donation or sa donor's tax. Kasi class, naalala yung donation, merong isang requisite doon wherein dapat si donor and si donee, dapat buhay sila, okay, nung nangyari yung donation na yun. Dito, iba naman, dapat mamatay muna yung isa, si Mr. X, bago ma-transfer yung properties dun sa mga heirs. Gets? Okay, so kung maalala nyo class, yung Latin term natin para sa donation is donation inter vivos. Okay? Sa estate naman class, ang Latin term dito is mortis causa. Okay, mortis causa. Now, yung estate na yan class is to be managed by the administrator / executor, yun yung tawag dyan. And yung administrator-executor class, pwedeng in-appoint siya ni Mr. X nung buhay pa siya. Or kung wala siya na-appoint, pwedeng ang nag-appoint dyan yung court. Okay? Yung court. Ngayon, if walang na-appoint na administrator-executor, ang magmamanage ng estate na yan is the heirs. Okay? Si A, B, and C. So, ano ba ginagawa ng administrator and executor? Sila bahala dun sa settlement of the estate. Settlement meaning, sila bahala magbayad ng estate tax. Okay? And then, sila din bahala dun sa mga pag-transfer ng mga ownership to the heirs. Okay? Yun yung settlement. Now, class, gusto ko i-highlight dito na yung estate tax na yan, yung taxpayer natin dito is the estate. Okay? Yan talaga yung taxpayer natin sa estate. Parang dun sa income tax natin on the estate. Okay? O income of the estate. Ang taxpayer din dun is the estate. Okay? Pero ang personally liable, no? Personally liable to file and pay, okay, in behalf of the estate is the administrator or the executor. Pag walang administrator-executor, yung heirs yung magbabayad. Okay? Pero take note, yung taxpayer dito, si estate, nire-represent lang sila yung estate ni administrator-executor or ng heirs. Gets? Okay. Now, gusto ko rin i-highlight class yung obligations na to. Sir, ibig sabihin ba yan? Minamana ng heirs yung mga obligations? Okay? Not really. Ganito yan, class. Yung obligations na yan, for example, may utang si Mr. X sa BDO, tapos matay siya. Okay? Ang magbabayad ng utang na yon, yung estate mismo. Okay? Hindi minamana ng mga heirs yung utang. Tandaan nyo na, hindi minamana ang utang. Ang magbabayad dyan is up to the extent of the estate. Gets? Okay. Now, dito naman tayo sa heirs. We have two types of heirs. Meron tayong tinatawag na compulsory heirs and voluntary heirs. Compulsory and voluntary. Doon mo tayo sa compulsory. Class, ano ba ibig sabihin ng word na compulsory? Diba, ang ibang term dyan is required or mandatory. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, class, kapag compulsory heirs ka, you are entitled to the legitim. Okay, so later, didiscuss ko kung ano ibig sabihin ng legitim. Pero pag compulsory heirs, you're entitled to legitim. Sir, sino ba yung mga compulsory heirs na yan? Class, sila yung legitimate children, or LC, illegitimate children, IC, and the surviving spouse. Isa-isahin natin. Sir, ano ba ibig sabihin ng legitimate children? Kapag yung parents, kasal, okay? Legitimate children yon. Okay? Yung anak nila, legitimate child or legitimate children. Pag hindi kasal, illegitimate children. Gets? Sir, ano naman yung surviving spouse? Well, in our illustration, si Mr. X yung namatay, therefore, yung surviving spouse is si Mrs. X. Gets? Pag naman namatay si Mrs. X, yung surviving spouse is si Mr. X. Okay? Now, again, yung mga compulsory heirs na yan, the legitimate children, illegitimate children, and surviving spouse, they are entitled to the legitim. Okay. Sir, ano naman yung voluntary heirs? Pag voluntary heirs naman, class, they are entitled to the free portion. Free portion. Okay? So, I'll give you an illustration. For example, class, imagine mo, ito yung estate. Okay? Ito yung estate. Now, yung estate na yung class, may portion dyan na tinatawag natin na legitim. Yung legitim, kahit anong mangyari, mapupunta yan dun sa compulsory heirs. Kahit anong mangyari. Okay? Automatic, pupunta yan sa compulsory heirs. And then, if merong last will and testament, meron tayong tinatawag na free portion. Okay? Ibig sabihin ng free portion, class, iyan yung mapupunta sa kahit kaninong gusto ni Mr. X. Kunwari, gusto ni Mr. X, o sige, yung free portion, bibigay ko sa kaibigan ko. Ayun, pwede yun. O kaya, sa kamag-anak ko, pwedeng hindi related kay Mr. X. Kahit kanino pwede, kung kanino niya gusto. Ang tawag natin doon is free portion. But take note, magkakaroon ka lang ng free portion if merong last will and testament. Pag walang last will and testament, wala kang free portion. Lahat yan legitim. Okay? Pero class, take note, kahit may last will and testament, kahit meron, or kahit wala, always merong legitim. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo pwedeng i-exclude yan na hindi sila magmana. Okay? Kasi compulsory heirs yan. Gets? Ulitin ko. Kasi ito yung foundation natin. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na compulsory heirs. Kahit anong mangyari, entitled sila sa legitim. Okay? Whether meron or walang last will and testament. Meron ka lang free portion kapag may last will and testament. Yung free portion, pwede siyang mapunta kahit kanino na gusto ni Mr. X. Okay? Pero dapat, meron kang last will and testament. Okay. Ngayon, class, lahat ng yan, i-illustrate ko. Okay? Yung illustration natin yan. Huwag mo nang pansinin to, no? Mamaya yan. Ang tawag natin dyan, class, is succession. Yan yung concept of succession. Succession. Okay. Now, we have three types of succession. Number one, testamentary succession. Number two, we have intestate or legal succession. And number three, meron tayong mixed succession. Sir, ano yung difference yan? When you say testamentary succession, ibig sabihin nito, class, merong last will and testament with last will and testament. Okay? May iniwan na last will and testament si Mr. X. Pero take note, class, yung will na yan, merong mga formalities yan na piniprescribe ng law. Okay? So, dapat may mga forms yan na dapat mag-comply si Mr. X, no? Before maging effective yung last will and testament. Kapag intestate naman, class, or legal, from the word itself, legal, okay, or intestate, kung ito, testamentary, opposite niyan is intestate, okay? Ibig sabihin, without last will and testament. Alright? So, kaya tinawag siya na legal kasi ang magpe-prevail diyang, class, yung batas. So, ibig sabihin, by operation of law. Okay? Ayan. By operation of law. Yung third one naman, class, is mixed. Ibig sabihin, mixed lang siya ng testamentary and intestate. Sir, bakit paano yun? For example, class, yung properties ni Mr. X, no? House and lot, car and condo units. Ang nilagay lang ni Mr. X sa last will and testament niya, yung house and lot and yung car. Okay? So, hindi niya nilagay yung condo units dun sa last will and testament. So, ibig sabihin, class, yung house and lot and car, testamentary yan. Yung condo units, intestate or legal yan. Got it? Ang tawag natin dun is mixed succession. Okay, so far so good? Alright, now, pag testamentary, pag meron kang last will and testament, madali lang yan kasi sundan mo lang kung ano yung nasa last will and testament. Walang problema dyan, okay? Ang issue dito, class, if namatay si Mr. X, wala siyang last will and testament or intestate succession. Paano mangyayari dyan, sir? Ito yung magpe-prevail sa'yo under intestate succession. So, lagay ko dito, intestate succession. Okay? Sir, pwedeng pa-explain yung illustration natin na yan. Okay, mag-concentrate ka dito. Ito si Mr. X. Okay, namatay si Mr. X. Ito si Mrs. X. Okay? Children, grandchildren, o yung great-grandchildren. Ito yung parents ni Mr. X. Ito yung grandparents niya, great-grandparents. Meron din siyang siblings, may cousin, niece, nephew, or mga pamangkin, uncle, aunt, okay, tito, tita. Okay? So, ayan. Yun yung illustration natin. Sir, paano ba yung application niya? Ganito yung class. Dito mo malalaman kung sino yung tagapagmana ni Mr. X. Okay? Pag namatay si Mr. X, ang unang priority, first priority, is yung mga descendants niya. Pag sinabi mong descendants, pababa. Descend, tama? Pababa. Ang tagapagmana niya is yung children niya, yung anak niya. Actually, kapantayan. A1, yung children, A1 din si Mrs. X or yung surviving spouse. So, pag namatay si Mr. X, ang priority na tagapagmana niya, yung asawa niya, si Mrs. X, and yung anak niya. Parehong A1. Ibig sabihin, magka-level sila. Okay? Next priority, let's say, namatay yung anak ni Mr. X, pero may apo siya. Yun, yung next priority. Okay? Yung next priority, yung anak ng apo ni Mr. X. Alright, now, ang tawag natin diyang class is, yun yung primary heirs. Sila yung priority, first priority. Second priority, yung ascendants, pataas naman. Okay? Sino yun? Parents ni Mr. X, grandparents, lolo-lola, and great-grandparents. Okay? So, ibig sabihin class, pag walang asawa si Mr. X, wala siyang mga anak, ang magmamana sa kanya, yung parents niya. Okay? Pag wala siyang parents, ang magmamana sa kanya, yung grandparents niya, and so on and so forth. Ang next priority natin, yung third priority, pag gano'n naman. Okay? Ulitin ko ha. First priority, descendants. Second priority, ascendants. Third priority, pag gano'n naman. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? After that, yung siblings naman, yung kapatid naman ni Mr. X. Got it? Yung brothers and sisters niya. And then, yung next naman, next naman sa priority, after yung siblings, kaya may mga numbers class. Kung mapansin mo, A1, A2, A3, yun yung priority. Yung 1 yung priority. C2, yung B1, B2, B3. C2 yung siblings, yung next priority dyan yung C3. Okay? C3, yung tito, tita. Okay? And yung pamangkin, yung niece and nephew. So, klase nga kung ito si Mr. X, ito yung parents niya. Ito yung kapatid ng parents niya. Basically, yung tito, tita niya. Tama? Ito yung anak ni ito yung kapatid ni Mr. X. Okay? Anak ng kapatid ni Mr. X. Basically, yun yung pamangkin niya. Tama? So, magka-rank yan. C3 pareho. And then, if wala siyang tito, tita, and pamangkin, yung next naman dyan is yung cousin. Alright? And yung next, yung anak ng cousin niya. Ayun. Ang tawag natin dyan class, yung C2. Okay? Yung C2 na yan, yan yung second degree relatives. Okay? Sino yan? Yung mga kapatid mo. Okay? C3, yan naman yung third degree relatives. C4, fourth degree relatives. C5, yan yung fifth degree. Ang magmamana sa'yo, ang maximum is yung C5. Okay? Up to fifth degree of consanguinity, yung tawag doon. Okay? Or fifth degree relatives. Okay? So, naiintindihan nyo talaga. Let's have some examples. Example number 1. Class, what if si Mr. X, namatay siya, no? Mr. X died, and then meron siyang wife, and then meron siyang 2 children. 2 children. Namatay si Mr. X, meron siyang wife, and meron siyang 2 children. Sino yung tagapagmana ni Mr. X? Well, obviously, ang magmamana dyan is yung wife and yung 2 children. Ang tawag dyan, primary heirs. Okay? Question ko sa inyo, may mamanahin ba yung nanay at tatay ni Mr. X o yung parents niya? Wala. Okay? Kasi meron kang primary heirs. Meron kang descendants. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, walang mamanahin dito, yung parents. Ang magmamana lang, si wife and yung 2 anak. Okay, yun yung example 1. Example number 2. For example naman class, si Mr. X, namatay siya, pero single siya. No? Single, wala din siyang anak, no? Without children. And then, single si Mr. X and wala siyang anak. So, ibig sabihin, wala siyang surviving spouse. Wala din siyang anak. Ang magmamana niyan, pag namatay si Mr. X, ang magmamana ng house and lot, car, and condo units, yung parents ni Mr. X. Got it? Okay, sige. What if walang parents si Mr. X? Sino naman yung magmamana dyan? Walang parents si Mr. X. Let's say, wala siyang grandparents, ayan, wala siyang great-grandparents, patay na lahat. Ang magmamana nun, yung kapatid ni Mr. X. So, ibig sabihin, class, kapag si Mr. X, meron siyang, buhay pa yung parents niya, hindi magmamana yung kapatid niya. Gets? Kailan magmamana yung kapatid niya? Only if walang B1, okay? Walang parents. Doon na magmamana yung siblings niya. Okay? Sige. Alright, so yun yung makikita natin yung first priority. Tandaan nyo na lagi, first priority pababa. Second priority pataas. Third priority, ayun, pag ano naman, third priority. Okay, let's have other illustrations, examples pa. Ito class for appreciation lang to. No? So actually, I believe naman hindi magtatanong ng ganito talaga sa board. So gusto ko lang talaga maintindihan kasi foundation to nung about estate tax. Okay, sige, so let's have an illustration naman class ng computation. Meron tayong 4 cases. Case 1, For example, class, yung estate na naiwan ni Mr. X amounts to 1 million. Paano natin hahatiin yung 1 million na yan? Let's say, sa case 1 natin, merong 4 na legitimate children si Mr. X and then meron siyang dalawang illegitimate children. Okay. May 4 na legitimate children, may dalawang illegitimate children. So class, take note pala dito ha. Meron kasi tayong counting. Okay? Counting. Makakatulong sa atin to para malaman kung paano i-distribute yung 1 million na estate na yan. Pag legitimate child ka, meron kang 1 share. Okay? Pag illegitimate child ka, okay. Pag legitimate child ka, meron kang 1 share. Okay? Pag illegitimate child ka, meron kang 1/2 share. Okay? Pag illegitimate child, class tandaan mo, entitled siya sa 1/2 ng share ni legitimate child. Kaya 1/2 yung nakalagay. Hitin ko, legitimate child, meron siyang isa yung bilang niya, 1 share. Si illegitimate child naman, ang bilangan niya is 1/2 na makukuha ni legitimate child. Kalahati lang. Si surviving spouse naman class, ang count naman sa kanya is 1 share. Okay? Same naman siya as legitimate child. Now, ulitin natin. The estate amounts to 1 million. Meron si Mr. X na 4 legitimate child and then may dalawang illegitimate child. Ang gagawin mo dyan class is bibilangin natin. No? Count natin. So, si legitimate child, 1 yung count niya. So, 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? Dalawa si illegitimate child, 2 times 0.5 is 1. Yung count natin dito is 5. Got it? Now, i-distribute natin sa estate. Let's say, distribute natin sa heirs. Si A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay. Si A, B, C, D, sila yung legitimate children. Si E and F, sila naman yung illegitimate children. Okay? So, ang gagawin ko dito, class, 1 million, i-divide ko sa 5. 1 million divided by 5, that is 250,000. Okay? So, yung total na i-allocate natin is 1 million. Tama? Now, ang bilangan dito, si A may 1 siya, si B, 1, 1, 1, 0.5 and 0.5. So, yung total natin is 5. Tama? Poprorate ko lang yan. 1 million times 1 divided by 5, that is 250,000. So, si A, makaka-receive siya ng 250, B will receive 250, C will receive 250, 250 si D. Ngayon, yung dalawang illegitimate children, kalahati sa kanila. Ano ba yung kalahati ng 250? 125,000. 125,000. Okay. Yun yung magiging hatian nyo dyan. Sorry. 1 million divided by 5, 200,000 lang pala to. 200,000, sorry, correct natin. So, this is 200K. Okay, 200K. 200K. Okay, 200K. And then, kalahati sa illegitimate children, 100K. Yun, total of 1 million. Okay? Sige, class. So, let's have another illustration. For example naman, case 2 tayo, ha? Dito tayo. Case 2. Tingnan ko talaga naiintindihan nyo. Namatay si Mr. X, meron siyang surviving spouse, and meron siyang 3 legitimate children. Okay? Count natin. Si surviving spouse, 1 yung count niya. Si legitimate children naman, 1 yan. 3 times 1 is 3. So, 4 yung counting natin. 1 million divided by 4 is 250,000. So, ganito mangyari dyan. Si surviving spouse, or si Mrs. X, and A, B, and C. Ito yung mga legitimate children ni Mr. X. Basically, ito yung 250,000 sila. Okay? 250,000 each. Total of 1 million. So, tandaan mo, class, yung share ni surviving spouse, same sa share ni legitimate children. Okay, last one. Case number 3. For example, class, merong surviving spouse, si wife, si Mrs. X, may dalawang legitimate children, may dalawang illegitimate children. Paano gagawin natin dyan? Okay, count natin. Si surviving spouse is 1, legitimate children, dalawa. 2 times 0.5 is 1. Okay, 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. 1 million, yung estate, divide natin by 4, you have 250,000. So, paano yung hatian natin dyan? I-erase ko muna to. Yung hatian natin dyan, sa case 3, so, ibig sabihin, si surviving spouse, meron siyang 250,000. Si A and B, yung legitimate children, meron 250. Okay, 250. And then, yung dalawang illegitimate children, si C and D, may kalahati sila. 125 and 125. Total of 1 million. Okay. So, ayan. So, that's how you compute. Alright. Now, last illustration ko to para dito sa intestate succession natin. Okay? So, let's say naman, class, ganito nangyari. For example, ito yung estate natin. No? Ito yung estate. Ayan. Ngayon, namatay si Mr. X. Meron siyang surviving spouse, si Mrs. X. Meron siyang 4 na legitimate children. And then, may dalawa siyang illegitimate children. Ngayon, class, si Mr. X, meron siyang last will and testament. Okay? With last will and testament. Ang tanong dyan, how much sa 1 million yung magiging free portion? Okay? How much sa 1 million yung free portion? Ano ulit yung free portion? Yun yung pwedeng ibigay ni Mr. X kahit kanino niya gusto. Ganito yung class. Tandaan mo to, ha? Ganito yung mangyayari dyan. Tandaan mo, kapag ganyan, pag may last will and testament, 1 million to, tama? So this is 1 million. Kalahatiin mo agad yan. Yung kalahati niyan, which is the 500,000, mapupunta yan dun sa legitimate children. Automatic yun. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, si A, B, and C, A, B, C, D, okay? May 500,000. Hati-hati agad sila dyan. 500,000 divided by 4, that is 125,000 each. Okay? 125,000. Now, may dalawang illegitimate children. Ano ulit yung rule natin sa illegitimate children? Kalahati yung kanila. Ano yung kalahati ng 125,000? 62,500. So, ibig sabihin, yung isang illegitimate child, 62,500, another one, 62,500. So, CE and CF, meron silang 62,500. Got it? So, ito yung 62,500, 62.5K, 62.5K. Now, si surviving spouse naman, ano yung rule nating surviving spouse? Kung ano yung share ng legitimate child, yun din yung share ng surviving spouse. Ibig sabihin, 125,000 siya. Surviving spouse, 125,000. Lagay ko dito, SS, 125,000. So, yun ang lahat yung class. 500,000 plus 125,000 plus 125,000, that's 750,000. Ibig sabihin, class, yung free portion is only 250,000. Yan yung free portion. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng ibigay yan ni Mr. X kahit kanino niya gusto. Okay, so yung ginawa ko illustrations class, yan lang yung mga kailangan mo malaman for, well, board exam purposes. Pero hindi usually hindi nagtatanong yan. Pero gusto ko lang na ma-appreciate mo to, okay? Yung about succession. Okay, sige. Erase ko na yung, tingnan natin class, kung pwede yung erase ha. Erase ko na ito. Ito lang, okay. Erase na natin. So, please be patient sa discussion natin class kasi again, medyo mahaba yung discussion ko sa S8 kasi I believe most of you hindi rin maganda yung background ng transfer taxes ng undergrad, no? And ayan, gusto ko ma-master natin yung topic na to. Okay. So, tingnan muna natin class kung ang goal natin ngayon is to compute how much is the estate tax. Okay? Now, yung format ng computation natin is we have the gross estate, okay, less the allowable deductions, and then we have the net taxable estate. Net taxable estate, multiply natin by 6%. Okay? Yung estate tax rate natin is 6%, parang donor's tax. Okay? You have the estate tax due. Ayan. Now, yung gross estate natin class, meron tayo dyan ng mga inclusions and exclusions. Okay, so ulitin ko, yung format ng computation natin for estate tax, gross estate, minus allowable deductions, you have the net taxable estate, times 6%, you have the estate tax due. Ganun na siya kasimple. Ay sir, parang familiar yung format na yan. Di ba kasi ganyan din natin yung format ng income tax natin? Gross income, less allowable deductions, you have the net taxable income. Pag individuals ka, tax table. Pag corporation, the RSIT or MSIT, you have the income tax due. Ganun din dito sa estate. Okay, so kung ano yung approach natin class, sa discussion natin for income tax, ganun din dito sa estate tax. Ibig sabihin, dapat malaman natin ano yung magpo-form part sa gross estate, ano yung inclusions, ano yung exclusions, ano yung deductions, okay? And from there, mako-compute natin yung estate tax due. So again, kung ano yung approach natin sa income tax, ganun yung gagawin natin for estate tax. Okay? So let's start with the gross estate. Gross estate. Iisa-isahin natin ito class, and then papakita ko sa inyo kung ano yung mga important things to remember. Okay, gross estate. Open natin yung G-sheets natin class. For estate tax, start muna tayo with inclusion. So, kaya natin yan. So, open nyo siya. Mag-refer tayo dito from time to time. Okay. Start tayo with inclusions. Inclusions. Number 1, or letter A, real property. Real property, basically, ito yung mga immovables, no? For example, class, yung mga land. Okay. Okay, house and lot. Ayan, house and lot. Ayan, example of real property yan. Or any permanent attachments, no? Real property yan. Well, kanina, yung example natin, may naiwan na house and lot si Mr. X. Ayun. Ang tawag natin doon is real property. Okay? Now, letter B is personal property. Personal property, if real property is immovables, ito naman yung movables. For example, class, meron kang, actually, dalawa yung types of personal properties. We have tangible personal properties and intangible. Okay? Pag sinabi tangible, examples yan, let's say car, okay, furniture, ano pa, let's say mga equipment ni Mr. X, ayan. Tangible personal property yan. Intangible personal property, well, parang natutunan natin sa dollars tax, nandiyan class yung alam natin ng mga intangible assets in FAR, okay? Nandiyan din yung mga financial assets. For example, class, yung accounts receivable, bank deposit, okay, ano pa, investment in shares and bonds, ayun, considered siya as intangible personal property. Okay, sir, parang yung real property and personal property, parang yung nasa dollars tax lang yan. Yes, Exactly. Kaya class, yung situs, okay, of taxation for estate tax is the same as donor's tax. Sir, what do you mean by that? Kapag si Mr. X is resident or citizen, okay, taxable siya within and without the Philippines. Okay? Kapag si Mr. X naman, or the decedent, is an NRA, non-resident alien, taxable lang siya in the Philippines. Got it? Except, okay, may exception dito. For intangible properties, okay, pag intangible properties sa NRA, if with reciprocity, okay, ibig sabihin class, meron tayong agreement with other countries, okay, meron tayong treaty with other countries, yung intangible properties na yan are not taxable within and without. Okay? So, kung ano yung alam natin sa donor's tax, kung ano yung side to sa donor's tax, ganun din sa estate tax. Okay? So, actually, walang masyadong bago. Okay? So far, walang bago. Now, i-continue natin dito yan. So, we have real property, we have personal property. So, i-erase ka to class, ha? Isa-isahin natin yan para maging comprehensive yung discussion natin for estate tax. Okay? So, make sure na-copy nyo class yung sinulat nyo sa board. No? Okay. Para may space, enough space tayo to write ano yung mga inclusions. So, after inclusions, doon naman tayo sa exclusions. No? Kaya mas matagal yung discussion ng estate tax. Kasi kung isipin mo sa income tax, separate natin diniscuss yung gross income, yung mga deductions, pero sa estate tax, sabay-sabay natin silang di-discuss. Okay? Kaya matagal. Sige, so that's number 2. Let's go to number 3, or letter C. Transfer in contemplation of death. Transfer in contemplation of death. Sir, what do you mean by transfer of contemplation of death? Ganito yung class. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, nag-transfer ka ng property because you are motivated by thought of death. Okay? For example, si Mr. X, 80 years old na siya. Okay? 80 years old. Ngayon, medyo mahina na si Mr. X, no? Marami na siya sakit, and tingin niya in a span of few months or few years, mamamatay na siya. Alright? So, ang ginawa ni Mr. X, transfer niya yung property niya, okay, to A. Yung car niya, transfer niya to A. Ayan. Now, this is an example of transfer in contemplation of death. Transfer ni Mr. X yung property niya to A because motivated siya na ang nag-urge sa kanya is baka mamatay siya na siya anytime soon. Okay? Tawag din, transfer in contemplation of death. And this one is subject to estate tax or included siya in our gross estate. Ngayon, class, take note na yung nangyari na yan, hindi yan subject to donor's tax. Okay? Nung transfer ni Mr. X kay A yan, buhay sila pareho, tama? Dapat yun, inter vivos, buhay pa sila pareho. Pero since ang motivation ni Mr. X is malapit na siya mamatay, magiging, instead of donor's tax, magiging subject yan to estate tax. Gets? Okay. Let's go to letter D. Tingnan natin class yung G sheets natin. So A is real property, B is intangible and personal property, C, transfer in contemplation of death, D, revocable transfer. Sir, ano naman yung revocable transfer? Ganito yung class. Revocable transfer. Now, yung transfer, okay, ito, for example, yung illustration natin kanina, pwedeng dalawa yan. Pwedeng revocable or irrevocable. Okay? Pwedeng revocable or irrevocable. Ganito yung class. So, for example, si Mr. X, nag-transfer ng condo units kay A. Okay? Ngayon, sabi ni Mr. X, so sige, transfer ko sa yung condo units, pero pwede kong bawiin anytime. Ang tawag dyan is revocable. Okay? Revocable transfer. Pag revocable transfer class, included in the gross estate. Pag naman irrevocable, sabi ni Mr. X, o yan, ito na yung condo units, A. Sa'yo na yan, hindi ko na pwedeng bawiin yan. Irrevocable naman yan. Pag irrevocable, excluded naman yung class from the gross estate. Alright? So bakit ganun? Ganito na lang sa isipin class. Pag irrevocable, meron ka ng transfer of ownership. Okay? With transfer of ownership, in this case, hindi na si Mr. X yung may-ari niyan. Okay? Pag revocable, si Mr. X pa rin. Ibig sabihin, part pa rin dapat niya ng gross estate. Siya pa rin yung may-ari. Okay? May isa pang example. Let's say, si Mr. X, no? Sabi niya kay A, o sige, A, let's say this is January 1, this is July 1, and this is December 31. Okay? Sabi ni A, ni Mr. X, sige, so transfer niya ng July 1 kay A. And then, sabi ni Mr. X, o sige, up to July 1, pwede kong bawiin ah. Okay. So may right to revoke siya up to July 1. So from January 1 to July 1, okay, included yan sa gross estate ni Mr. X. Pag ginawa kong check, ibig sabihin included, okay? Ngayon, pag nag-lapse na yung right to revoke, hindi na pwedeng bawiin ni Mr. X, excluded na yan from the gross estate. Got it? So ulitin ko. Pag revocable, included. Kasi walang transfer of ownership. Pag irrevocable, nalipat mo na yung ownership to A, hindi na sa'yo yung property. Therefore, excluded from gross estate. Now, kapag may period of revocation, pag nag-lapse na yung period, na-transfer mo na yung ownership. Excluded, included. Okay? Ang tawag natin dyan is revocable transfer. Letter E. Okay. Transfer under general power of appointment. General power of appointment. Sir, ano ibig sabihin yan? Transfer under general power of appointment. Kasi nagpahirap din sa estate tax, maraming technicalities dito. Kaya puro illustrations yung pinapakita ko sa inyo. Okay? Transfer under general power of appointment. Dalawa yan kasi class, no? Meron kang tinatawag na GPA or general power of appointment or meron tayong tinatawag na SPA or special power of appointment. Okay? Special power of appointment. Kapag GPA, included. Lalagyan ko check. Included sa gross estate. Kapag naman SPA, excluded yan from the gross estate. Okay? So let's have an illustration. For example, class, si Mr. Y. Okay? Meron siyang transfer na property kay Mr. X. Okay? In-appoint. Okay? May binibigay siyang transfer siyang property kay Mr. X. Let's say car. Ngayon, ang usapan nila, sabi ni Mr. Y kay Mr. X, o sige, pwede mong ibigay yan to anyone, okay? So, lagay ko dito, with a right to designate, okay, the person who will receive the property. Okay, so ganito yung class. Si Mr. Y, binigay niya yung kotse kay Mr. X. O, sige, Mr. X, yung kotse na yan, bibigyan kita ng right kung kanino mo ibibigay yan. Okay, ganun siya. So, take note, ang subject natin, si Mr. X, ha? Mr. X. So, binigay sa'yo ni Mr. Y, yung car. Ngayon, class, pag ang usapan nyo is, pwede siyang ibigay kahit kanino. General. Okay? Ibig sabihin to anyone. Pwedeng ibigay yung car. Ang tawag natin dyan is General Power of Appointment, GPA. Part siya of the gross estate. Bakit, sir? Kasi it's as if kay Mr. X na talaga yung kotse. Kasi may option siya kung kanino niya ibibigay. Tama? Ngayon naman, class, kapag sinabi ni Mr. Y kay Mr. X, o sige, kay B mo lang pwedeng ibigay yan. Only to B. Okay? Ang tawag natin dyan is specific. Okay? So in this case, class, si Mr. X nag-act lang siya as if intermediary siya or para siyang trustee. Okay? Intermediary lang siya kasi hindi talaga napunta sa kanya yung kotse. Kasi sabi ni Mr. Y, o sige, sa'yo yung car, pero ibibigay mo yan only kay B. Wala kang choice. In that case, ang tawag natin dyan, special power of appointment, excluded yan from gross estate. Hindi yan property ni Mr. X. Take note, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito si Mr. X. Point of view ni Mr. X, hindi ni Mr. Y. Okay? Ulitin ko para malinaw. May usapan si Mr. X na Mr. Y and Mr. X. Sabi ni Mr. Y, o ito yung kotse, no? Pwede mo i-transfer kahit kanino. Ang tawag doon, general power of appointment, included sa gross estate. Bakit included? Kasi it's as if si Mr. X yung may-ari. Kasi may right siya kung sino yung bibigyan niya ng property. Okay? Pag naman sinabi ni Mr. Y, okay, B mo lang pwede ibigay yan, ha? Special power of appointment yun. Excluded siya kasi it's as if dumaan lang kay Mr. X. Intermediary lang siya or trustee lang siya ng kotse. That's why it's excluded from gross estate. Okay? So that's letter E. Ano pa? Meron tayong tinatawag na, dito lang. Letter E natin, ilan ba to? H, so hindi. Kulang yung space natin. Erase ko na to, class, ha? Letter E, letter F tayo. Letter F naman, class, is transfer for insufficient consideration. Sir, parang familiar yung transfer for insufficient consideration. Di ba, sir, yan yung sa dollar stocks? Pag may difference yung fair market value at selling price, pag mas mababa yung selling price, di ba, sir, transfer for insufficient consideration yun? Yes. Pero this one, applicable siya sa letters C. Nasaan yung C? Ito? Transfer in contemplation of death. Applicable siya sa letter D. Okay? Revocable transfer. And letter E. Ito. Transfer under general power of appointment. Sir, what do you mean by that? For example, class, dito tayo. Si Mr. X, 80 years old siya, no? Ngayon, naisip niya, baka anytime soon, baka mamatay na ako, kasi ang dami yung sakit, ganyan. Ngayon, binenta niya yung kotse kay A, right? So ngayon, binenta ni Mr. X yan, yung fair market value talaga ng car is 1 million. Pero binenta lang niya for 700,000. And yung cost ni Mr. X dyan is 200,000. Yung difference between 1 million and 700,000, yung 300,000, this will be subject to estate tax. Hindi donor's tax. Bakit? Kasi transfer in contemplation of death. Okay? Yung difference sa 700 and 200, which is 500,000, this is subject to income tax. Okay? So that is your transfer for insufficient consideration. Okay, next. Ilan lang to? Dalawa na lang. Sige, letter G. Letter G nating class is proceeds of life insurance. Sir, familiar din yung proceeds of life insurance. Naalala niyo sa income tax? Ano yung rule natin sa income tax? Sa income tax, ang rule natin is exempt yan. Kasi basically, payment for damages lang yan. Tama? Ngayon, ang tanong dito, class, yung proceeds of life insurance, part ba yan ng gross estate ni Mr. X? Depende yan, class. May dalawang klase yan. Meron tayong revocable, okay? Life insurance, meron tayong irrevocable. Okay? And actually, class, according to insurance code, okay? Pag silent, ito siya. Ayan, revocable yan if silent. According sa insurance code of the Philippines. Okay? So, I'll give you an illustration. For example, kasi Mr. X. Ayan. Bida natin, si Mr. X. Nagbabayad siya ng premiums sa insurance company. No? For example, si Sun Life. Ayan. Bayad siya ng premiums. Ngayon, pag namatay si Mr. X, yung beneficiaries niya, tingnan natin, yung beneficiaries, pwedeng yung estate, administrator, okay? Or executor. Ayan. Or pwedeng ang beneficiary ni Mr. X, administrator. Ang pwedeng beneficiary ni Mr. X, others. Ulitin ko. So si Mr. X, nagbabayad siya ng premiums, okay? Pag namatay siya, yung proceeds of life insurance, yung beneficiary, dalawang scenario. Scenario number 1, what if yung estate niya, yung administrator or executor, yung beneficiary, what if ibang tao? Or other than the estate, administrator, or executor. Ganito class yung rule dyan. Pag revocable or irrevocable. Okay? Revocable, irrevocable. Pag ang beneficiary is the estate, administrator, executor, whether revocable or irrevocable, part yan ng gross estate, included. Okay? Bakit, sir? Kasi isipin mo, yung estate na yan, yung administrator and executor, extension of the decedent yan. Extension yan ni Mr. X. Okay? It's as if yung beneficiary is si Mr. X. Tama? Ulitin ko. Bakit, sir, whether revocable or irrevocable, part siya ng gross estate. Isipin mo, class, kapag ang beneficiary mo si estate, administrator, executor, it's as if ang beneficiary mo dyan, si Mr. X din, yung decedent din. Ngayon, kapag others, ibang tao yung beneficiary, dapat dyan, class, pag revocable, part siya ng gross estate. Bakit, sir? Kasi anytime, pwedeng bawiin yung proceeds. Pag irrevocable, hindi na part ng gross estate. Parang yung kanina, parang ito. Pag revocable transfer, pwede mong bawiin. Therefore, sa'yo pa rin yun. Pag irrevocable, hindi na. In the same way, pag revocable yung beneficiary, sa'yo pa rin yun. Kaya included sa gross estate. Pag irrevocable, nalipat mo na yung proceeds, yung rights sa proceeds, dun sa third person or sa others. Therefore, excluded na yan. Gets? Okay. And then last one naman, class, is, pagkasahin ko na dito, okay, para wala tayong erase, letter H. Letter H natin, so last one na to, claims against insolvent person. Okay, claims against insolvent person. Pag sinabing claims, basically, class, receivable yan. Merong receivable si Mr. X from a person, okay? Pag sinabing insolvent, ano ba ibig sabihin ng insolvent? Personal assets is lower than the personal liabilities, di ba? Sa AFAR, yun yung insolvent natin. Ngayon, class, ganito mo isipin yan. For example, class, yung claims or receivable ni Mr. X is 1 million, no? Insolvent, no? So, ganito gagawin ko dyan. Yung gross estate, ang ilalagay dyan, class, is yung 1 million. Lalagay mo yung 1 million. Ngayon, class, yung uncollectible portion. Kasi insolvent, ibig sabihin, hindi lahat yan makakollect mo. Yung uncollectible, ilalagay mo sa deductions yan. For example, class, 60% hindi makakollect. So, that's 600,000. Therefore, yung net dyan is only 400,000. So, tandaan mo, class, yung full amount, okay, yung 100%, ilalagay mo lagi sa gross estate. Tatanggalin mo na lang yung uncollectible portion sa deductions. Nakuha mo yan? So, ganun siya. Para madali mo maintindihan yan. Para siyang presentation ng AR in the balance sheet. Tama ba, class? Pag nagpe-present ka ng AR, for example, AR natin is 1 million, di ba full amount mo nilalagay yan? And then, mina-minus mo na lang yung ADA na 600,000. Tama? AR minus ADA, meron kang NRV na 400,000. So, ulitin ko, pag claims against insolvent person, ang ibig sabihin yan, receivable yan, isipin mo AR ni Mr. X yan, ang presentation yan, yung full amount sa gross estate. Tinatanggal natin sa deductions yung uncollectible. Isipin mo, para madali mo maalala, sa accounting, para siyang AR minus ADA, meron kang NRV. Okay, so these are the things that you have to remember sa inclusions of the gross estate. Now, apply muna natin yan before tayo magpunta sa next concept. Let's go to problem number 1. Get your handouts. Let's go to problem number 1. Okay. Question number 1, if the decedent is a non-resident citizen, his gross estate is pag resident or citizen, within and without. Okay? Question number 2, If the decedent is a non-resident alien, his gross estate is, pag non-resident alien, taxable within lang yan. Ngayon, question number 3, in the preceding number, if may reciprocity, ibig sabihin, yung intangible properties, okay, exempt siya within and without. Okay, so tingnan natin, computin natin yung gross estate. Let's read the given. Mr. X died in 2021 and left the following properties. Okay, so i-categorize muna natin class per line item. House and lot in Quezon City, serving as a family home. So this is a real property. So lagay mo, real property na within, kasi Quezon City. House and lot in USA. So this is real property without. Okay. Land in Baguio with 300,000 unpaid mortgage. This is real property within. Vacant lot in Manila. This is real property within. Okay. Car in Manila, personal property na within. Jewelries in USA, personal property without. Other personal properties in Manila, so that's personal property within. Okay. And then, franchise in Japan is intangible. Lahat yan actually pababa. Lahat yan intangible properties. Okay. So, franchise in Japan, that's without. Receivable Philippines within. Receivable Japan without. Bank deposit BPI within. Bank deposit Canada without. Shares of stock, domestic, 40%. Within pa rin yan kasi domestic eh. So kahit anong mangyari, basta domestic corporation, always within. Hindi mo gumatter yung percentage. Okay? Shares of stock in a foreign corp, class kapag naman foreign corporation, yung threshold natin is 85%. So lagay mo dyan, 85%. Since 70% lang to, ibig sabihin without to. Okay, without. Shares of stock, 90%, so that's within kasi more than 85% or at least 85%. And then shares of stock, 75% of the business in Philippines and has acquired situs in Philippines. So very explicit, nag-acquire ng situs, ibig sabihin within yan. Okay? Sige, so let's answer question number 1. Actually, pag non-resident citizen, na-add lang natin lahat yan. So i-add natin lahat class. 3.7 million plus 2 million plus 1 million plus 1.5 plus 500,000 plus 300 plus 200 plus 100 plus 90 plus 100 plus 90 plus 50 plus 100 plus 150 plus 250 plus 175. Answer natin dito class is 10,305,000. Okay. So erase natin to. Ano yung pwede kong erase dito? Dito na lang. Dito na lang. So question number 1, in-add ko lang lahat kasi class residency, tama ba? Resident citizen or non-resident citizen or as long as citizen siya. So problem number 1, question 1, answer natin dyan class is 10,305,000. So class, punta ka dun sa third line item. Nakita mo dyan, land in Baguio with 300,000 unpaid mortgage. Tanda mo, yung presentation yan, yung buong amount ng land, ilalagay mo sa gross estate. Okay? Yung mortgage, ilalagay mo siya sa deduction. Parang ito kanina. Okay? So yung land na 1 million, dito siya sa gross estate. Yung mortgage payable or unpaid mortgage, dito siya sa deductions. Gets? Okay. Now, question number 2, if the decedent is a non-resident alien. So pipiliin lang natin class lahat ng within. Okay? Sige, so add natin. 3.7 million, house and lot in Quezon City. Add ko yung land in Baguio, 1 million. Plus vacant lot in Manila, 1.5 million. Plus other properties in Manila, 200,000. And, okay. Ulitin ko. Okay, wala ako. So house and lot in Quezon City, 3.7. Plus land in Baguio, 1 million. Vacant lot in Manila, 1.5. Car in Manila, 500. Other personal properties, Manila, 200. Receivable Philippines, 90. Bank deposit, BPI, 90. Shares of stock, domestic corp, 100. Shares of foreign corp, 90%, 250. Shares of stock, acquired situs, 175. Answer natin dito class is 7,605,000. Question number 2, final answer natin is 7,605,000. So that's letter boy. Yung question 1 natin is letter A. Question 2 is boy. Question number 3 naman class, what if merong reciprocity? So ibig sabihin, i-exclude lang natin yung intangible properties. Okay, so let's recompute. House and lot in Quezon City, 3.7 million. Add natin yung land in Baguio, 1 million. Vacant lot in Manila, that's 1.5. Car in Manila, that's 500. And other personal properties in Manila, that's 200,000. Answer natin class, 6.9 million. Question number 3, what if non-resident alien with reciprocity? 6.9 million, letter A. So final answer A, 10,305,000. Question number 2, boy, 7,605,000. And question number 3, A, 6.9 million. Okay. So class, before we proceed to the next concept sa estate tax, let's have a short break.